Welcome to another episode of the Gamers Roundtable. This is episode 45 now. We're up to episode 45. That's impressive if I do say so myself. But we are gamers talking about games. That's what we do here on the Gamers Roundtable. Talk about video games. So we got a bunch of awesome gamers here to talk about those games. We're going to talk about some news, and we have a topic this week. We're going to go over some urban legends in video games, some things that we thought may have existed but probably didn't in the end. There's some cool stories out there. It's kind of a nostalgia trip for us. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of retro stuff out there. But let's go down the line and say hello to everybody. To introduce first myself, I'm LinkFX, and I got my buddy Brandon beside me. He's the new one joining us this week. How's it going, Brandon?
I'm good.
Beautiful. He doesn't have a Twitter handle, so I didn't put his at the bottom there, so screw that guy, right? Down to the other end, we got our old faithful Charles. Hello, Charles.
Hello, or something like that.
And beside him, we have the wonderful Manny.
Hello.
Hello. and beside him, I guess I need an adjective for you as well. The entertaining Eric.
Hey, how's it going? Entertaining. I like that.
I thought his name was Retromaster.
Oh, Retromaster. There we go. Yeah, I like that one better.
Retron.
I'm sorry. Retron Eric. Eric Retron. Officially change your name. And next to Eric, we have adjectives. Surprising Sarah.
Oh! I don't know how to do that. Hi, guys.
And apparently Sarah has some inner web, so we'll see if she cuts in and out. Hopefully not, because it'd be nice to keep you in this conversation the whole time. But once again, we're the Gamers Roundtable. We do this every Wednesday at 7 p.m. EDT, and afterwards sometimes we either have a game club or we have our after show, so feel free to stick around with us on that and go to youtube.com/Gamers Roundtable Show. I have the wrong one under my name, actually. Gamers Roundtable Show. To subscribe to us and find us on iTunes as well, so you can listen to us in case you missed the live broadcast. We also have the live Q&A going on at the side there, so if you want to ask us questions, we'll answer them to the best of our abilities. But let's go with since it's been a slower news week, we'll start off with what we've been playing this week. Let's start on this end this time. Sarah, what have you been playing this week? Anything new and interesting?
Not actually. I've been watching anime, so I guess I'm a bad gamer.
You are terrible. You are kicked out of the roundtable.
Yeah, that's good.
That's right. Eric, then, have you been playing anything crazy and interesting?
I've been playing a lot of FIFA and some Mario Golf.
World Cup, of course. In case anybody who doesn't know, Eric is not only our local retro resident. He's also a sports guy. So he's anything to do with sports. If you have questions, direct them at him because he'll be able to answer those better than any of us probably will.
Probably.
Mm-hmm. And also sorry about USA's loss the other day. They came pretty close.
That was brutal.
Honestly, I think if they had played that hard their whole game, they really had a shot.
Yeah, well. Their goal, Tim Howard could only do so much for us, you know. Like we.
There you go. Well, it's time to recreate it in FIFA and then actually win for it.
Pretty much the only place that they can win. So.
Perfect. And Manny, have you had any interesting gameplays this week? Nope. Choke tested. It seems like a majority of us. Charles.
Dota 2. I tried Awesome Knots.
You said you're getting into Dota over League now, or you're still playing both?
No, I'm still playing both. I played a game of Awesome Knots, which is a side-scrolling MOBA, and apparently it works entirely based on MMR. And since it was my first game, I absolutely fucking crushed everything because nobody understands your standard, bait, retreat, beat, repeat.
They just go straight forward. Yeah, I guess.
Well, yeah. What you do is you get close to them and then just back off so they attack, and then you just jump in again to hit them while they're still reeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it sounds like people like if it's on mobile, you said, right?
Oh, it's not on mobile. It's
oh no, it's not.
Steam.
Okay. Okay.
It probably could be mobile given how it plays, but
I feel like it'd be a lot of casual players getting in. That's why they don't know any of those advanced tactics.
I got 6 achievements for my first game. One of them was a 9-kill streak. The other one was having the most kills on your team. Just stuff like that.
Mr. Power Player over here. Well, I'm getting you on my team if I ever play.
Well, no, it's a relatively simple game. So
That's true. And down myself, as you can kind of see in the background there, of course, we've been playing Smash Bros. Again, Brandon here just came back from China. He's visiting for a month, and he's been itching to play some Smash Bros. So we've been getting into that, practicing and honing our skills there. I guess that. Sorry.
I said nice.
Nice. Okay. I guess that drops us into our news section there. It has been a slower news week, so I've only got maybe one or two things that are worth bringing up that I could see. Again, I've been busy, so I may have missed some things. But then I'll go to you guys and see if you guys have anything that's worth noting. But to start off, it looks like Airtight Games, the guys that made Murdered Soul Suspect, which just came out. I don't know if you guys have played that at all. My friend's actually playing through right now. He's trying to get me to play it. But Airtight Games, the guys that made it, are shut down. And it's just weeks after it's been released. And a lot of people are speculating, saying, hey, it doesn't seem surprising because there are parts in the game where it feels like they wanted to do more and it was they couldn't do it. Maybe they realized this game isn't going to be what we thought it was, so they had to polish up what they had and move on from there. So it's kind of a bummer to see a studio go out right after a game releases.
Do we know why they shut down?
Terrible, yeah.
It's I didn't actually read into it. It says it's quietly closed, bringing an apparent end to its 10-year run as an independent video game developer, less than a month after it came out. Executives haven't yet responded to requests for comment about the closure. But someone said that all their office equipment in that is being sold off at heavy discounts. So it looks like, I don't know, maybe they just ran out of funding in that.
There was a
Sorry?
statement. There was a statement. Did you see it right there? They posted a farewell message on Twitter, at the very least.
I missed the Twitter, actually. What does it say?
Airtight Games posted a farewell message on Twitter following news of the studio's closure. Thanks to all of our fans, family, friends, and colleagues who supported us and made the last 10 years possible. Thanks to all of the amazing people that worked on Dark Void, Quantum Conundrum, Murdered, Soulfjord, Pixeled, and Dirt Bike. And Dirt Bike sounds like the worst game ever made.
Just called Dirt Bike.
Wow. Maybe that's why they got shut down. You start naming games like that.
That'll make investors nervous. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it says here, Airtight executive Jim Deal said that about the layoffs in April, that that move was a part of necessary restructuring. The restructuring is part of the normal ebb and flow of game production. Existing projects are on schedule, and Airtight Games is actively seeking partners for exciting upcoming projects. And then this happens. So I'm wondering if the cuts they made weren't enough. Again, besides that, no official statement as to why there was a closure on them. But yeah, it's always a bummer to see that, and just hopefully those guys move on to a new good development company and can continue to use their skills. The other thing I have two more things. Sorry, Iwata was reelected as the Nintendo president at their shareholder meeting recently. Which I guess a lot of people are happy about. I guess before his approval rating had dropped from 92.9% in 2011 to 77.3% last year. But even despite him being absent, because I guess he had recent surgery, he was still voted in, reelected as the president there. So we'll still have Iwata with Nintendo.
Did they ever find out what was wrong with him that he couldn't attend E3?
Well, I'm sure they know what's wrong with him. They probably just don't want to
Does that
release
mean
it.
CEO, president?
I think essentially same thing. I don't know the exact definitions of CEO and president.
Nintendo.
It
It was
says
said out there, but at the same time, I feel like it's none of our business. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. It's
I'll say he had something
getting-
removed from his like liver or something. Like
yeah, it was a growth. Yeah.
It's like I said, I feel dirty even saying it's none of my business.
Yeah, he's he had a recent surgery. He's looks like he's recovering. But and he gets to keep his job when he comes back. So that's pretty good news for him. And the last thing I had is that the Western Australian Committee now wants to R18 plus games completely banned in the state.
The what?
Wow.
The Western Australian Joint Standing Committee,
Okay.
the Commissioner for Children and Young People, recommends in its Sexualization of Children report that the Classification Enforcement Act should prohibit the sale, supply, demonstration, possession, or advertisement of R18 plus games in the state.
That's insane.
So they basically it seems Australia has a lot of issues with mature stuff over there, and they just don't want any of that. They want rainbows and happiness over there, and that's it.
Well, I can understand it.
I don't know. It's the thing is when you take something away from someone, they're going to fight harder to get it back, right? And it ends up causing more issues on what you're trying to get rid of in the first place. So we'll see what goes with that. I can see a lot of people not being too happy with that. Poor Australia, always being the butt of these kind of things. I'm glad that we don't have to deal with that up here. All we have to deal with is game prices going up in Canada. So that's fun.
Prices are going up.
Yeah, game prices. In case you didn't notice, a lot of game prices are jumping instead of the original 65 up to about $75. Most games, DS games, are jumping from about 35 to 45. All prices are going up on an average about $10 in Canada now.
Is there a reason, an explanation for that?
It probably has something to do with minimum wage going up to $11 recently. Just cost of living goes up as the minimum wage does as well too. So it's inflation. It follows each other, right?
How can we make more money out of Canada? I know, charge more money for our products.
Mm-hmm. But then they keep giving us more money. Inflation.
Well, they'll charge what the market will bear. I mean, if you guys can all agree not to spend that much money on games, they'll lower the prices again.
All
That's
right.
not going to happen.
Well, as Manny said, there's not much of us up here. We can get each other all together. We'll rally together.
Yeah, we all know each other up here, right?
It was actually kind of funny. The other day I was walking on the street and just seeing someone driving by in a car, and I'm like, I know that person. And it happened multiple times, and I kind of realized the stereotype is like, oh, everyone up here knows each other. I do know a lot of people just randomly walking by. So it was kind of funny. But just because my busy week, we had our Let's Play 13 Smash Bros. Tournament this weekend. Super huge success, which was awesome. You can actually go watch it. It's on YouTube on the guys that streamed it for us. It's youtube.com/evenmatchupgaming. And you can actually go watch all the finals and stuff before that, doubles, all that stuff. Super hype stuff, super fun. Kind of cool that we're finally getting our stuff out on the interwebs. They're growing quite a bit. And it's super awesome to see the interest in it in the esports community in this area grow. I know Sarah was there. I don't know, like I think we had a couple less people than the one before, but it still seemed like it was kind of more hype, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It was. It's cool to see the esports, especially in this area, growing huge. I want to keep pushing that. It's fun. I love esports, man. I love competition.
Competition.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, exactly. So again, I haven't had much time to look at news, but I think Manny, you had a couple pieces for us there. Maybe you can throw it for us.
They're just there if anybody wants to read them. If not, we just move on.
All right. I guess we won't tell people that are listening what's going on in the gaming world.
Okay then.
Where did you post them? Sorry.
Oh, they're in the
doc here.
Yeah. I'm not 100% right now, so I can't really read all this stuff.
Is he editing that and you can see it?
Yep. Oh yes. Sorry, I forgot about the Lindsay Lohan thing. I actually kind of want to bring that up. There was a couple things. A couple people have tried to sue GTA 5 now over likenesses and stuff. But Lindsay Lohan has decided to sue Rockstar for using her likeness, I guess, in the game. One of the characters, I forget which character it was, but apparently shares a likeness to her name, and she doesn't like it, so she's trying to... Lacey Jones, that was the one. It claims that Lacey Jones is an unequivocal reference to Lohan, depicting everything from her likeness to her clothing line to the Chateau Marmont Hotel where Lohan once lived. So she's seeking stuff. I'm going to find a random NPC in that game that looks like me and go sue Rockstar.
I think she just wants. I think she's poor and needs money.
She needs money to support her habits, I assume.
She needs publicity. That's what it is. You know, they only come out just for the publicity.
Well, then why are we talking about this? Let's move on.
This can be. I mean, it's going to be thrown out. I mean, you can clearly parody a public figure.
Well,
doesn't like to use her name, and it's just honestly, Lindsay Lohan is such a generic, like a flame out celebrity that she could represent 1,000 different, child stars turned.
So, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, how are they still around? Literally everything that they do is a mockery of someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you guys, I'm good here.
Parody
or like
is
even like something like Family Guy, where they actually have the person's name in there and they're not like dancing around it.
Yeah, just straight up. Yeah, it's I don't know why.
I think she heard it made several $100 million and she wants a cut.
Yeah, so, I want some of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that makes sense. But yeah, I guess that's it for gaming news. Again, it was a little slower in these weeks. Again, as Manny mentioned,
a new JRPG was announced right there.
Mm-hmm.
New MOBAs.
That's why I'm asking you, man. Let us know.
Like I told you, though, I'm so too much inside baseball. All right, then let's move on. So, what's it called? Gaming rumors.
Yes, we're gonna move on to our thing, our urban legends. Just kind of things in video games that hadn't that were never proven or legends. Just kind of things that you think could be true, but people would try and just never could come around to making it surface to be truth. But I guess we'll start with Sarah because she's the one that actually had the topic. So I'm assuming that she has something for us in mind, since she brought that topic up. So Sarah, if you want to start us off with one of your favorite gaming legends.
Yeah, so this one's a classic. You probably all heard it, but there's a way to get Mew other than from an actual Nintendo event in the original Pokemon games.
Oh, and blue and red?
Yeah, so the rumor goes you go up to a truck near the SS Anne and you use like surf, cut on the tires, and then strength to push it out of the way, and Mew suddenly appears. And it's total BS.
I thought that because I've actually seen people make their way around the truck though, and I actually have done it myself. I've gotten around the truck and I was surfing in the water around the SN.
But did you get Mew?
No, I never got Mew, but I was able to get around there.
There
was a hidden. I thought there was a hidden TM in there as well.
Well, there's like more to the point of like Mew. There is a way to get it with like hacking the hex codes in the game. So you do some dodging of like trainers when they see you, and some crazy flying stuff, and you actually can get it that way, which some people say is legit, some people say isn't, but.
Yeah, I guess it's not really hacking as much as it is manipulating the code, and it kind of blows my mind that people can even think to do that stuff. Like they can manipulate the code. It's like down to the level of hexadecimal to get certain things to appear based off who they talk to, and that was the same way you got Masigno as well too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to a guy in Viridian City, say no, talk to him again, fly down. Make sure you don't have the key in your pocket, and then surf up and down the side of Cinnabar Island to get Masigno.
And it duplicates your, I think, 6th item in your inventory as well to 99. Sweet for Master Balls.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was awesome too. I had a level 120 muck by the end of that, which is unfortunate. Again, that was one of the games. The Pokemon Blue was the game that got stolen from me. So that was my most saddening moment when I got robbed, was when my level 120 muck disappeared.
That's awful.
It is awful. Yeah, so Pokemon. There was a few in Pokemon. There was another one, Blue or Blue. Sorry, if you guys remember that one. It was which is funny because it turned out just to be in the next series, and that's what always kind of blew my mind about the Pokemon series, is how far ahead they thought with this kind of stuff. Blue is actually just a Meryl, and Blue was apparently I forget the details, but you could somehow get behind in a secret room in I think like a professor's laboratory or something, and you could find Blue in the back. But this was during the earlier versions of the game when that Pokemon hadn't been announced. But it was like the very first episode of Pokemon 2 had Ho-Oh, and it's like that's way into the future of Pokemon. It's just cool how far ahead they've actually thought into the series. That's another reason I've always liked Pokemon. You know, the lore has been set out from the beginning, and the mythology has always been there, and they revealed it slowly at a time. There's always a lot of cool urban legends with Pokemon. I'm gonna bring one up too, and then I'll jump over to the other guys. I'll jump to Eric next. One that in a recent game, because I know Manny was saying a lot of them be retro, but there was one in a recent game, and it was actually Minecraft. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Herobrine.
Oh, Herobrine.
Yeah, the Herobrine was basically this mysterious, I guess, creature that was like a replication of yourself or something that would sometimes appear. And just reading an excerpt from here, some players claim to have found mysterious structures appearing on their maps. Others claim to have seen the source of the structures, like a white-eyed version of the protagonist. Some theories range from it being a glitch to some other people saying it's actually the ghostly manifestation of Notch's deceased brother. So there's been lots of fake mods and stuff where people are making the Herobrine and that, but it's kind of cool to see a legend like that kind of come back in a newer game. Just because it was, as kids, we're always making stuff up in all these older games, and then now we're older, that stuff doesn't happen. It's like, oh, it's just a glitch or something. But it's cool to see legends still kind of making their surface.
Mojang actually they supported this sort of urban legend thing for a while, and what they would have is a series of patch notes, and they would say Herobrine removed for real this time, Herobrine removed again, or something like that, just to propagate it even more.
Yeah, so it looked like it kind of kept coming back.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get rid of it. That's kind of neat. Now, and I wonder if this legend kind of started too, though, because a lot of the people that do play Minecraft are younger, and that's kind of the way we started a lot of the legends when we were younger. With Minecraft, a lot of younger people playing, they keep that dream alive with their imaginations. Eric, do you have any favorite legends in games that were kind of mysterious to you and made you be like, oh, I'm going to try to figure this out?
One of them I remember from back when I was, a little bit later after I was playing it, but one was Final Fantasy VIII. There was a rumor or a theory that Squall was actually dead for the second half of the game.
Yeah, I've never played, but I've heard this one actually from my friends. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, so after pretty much like right at the end of Disc 1, there's like this big boss fight. I think the name of the boss was Adia.
Yep.
Was it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, like kind of at the end of the battle, after you like win, Squall gets like pretty much like just sliced in half and impaled by I think it was like an icicle kind of.
Murder impaled by an icicle, yeah.
Yeah. And like then it's pretty much like you switch discs and like the story just progresses and like you never like it's never brought up, like after that point for the rest of the game. And and the theory is that like the game does get a little bit more like wackier right after that happens. So they say because like he didn't have any kind of like questions brought up or no one ever talks about it, that was actually his like lucid dream as he was like dying was like the rest of the game past that battle or when he got impaled.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the second disc was just completely like a dream, pretty much.
Well, that would explain why they ended up going to space for no reason.
Right, the game did get pretty nuts at the end. So, like, I remember reading that and being like, "Wow, that actually could make a lot of sense."
Now has Square Enix ever said anything about it?
I don't know. I don't know if that was just a taboo kind of thing, like in the like Final Fantasy community that everybody talked about, or not. But
I can see that making sense.
I think I think it totally does, kind of. I don't know what Manny thinks, but I know for me, after I read it...
I think Squall is gacked.
You hate Squall.
No, I said I think Squall is gacked.
It's what?
Never mind.
I heard gacked.
Yeah, that's what I said, gacked.
Oh, okay.
That one makes total sense, actually. Just kind of I'm reading through here, actually, and it makes a lot of sense. Why would the game suddenly get wacky afterwards? You know, putting the disc.
Yeah, don't the gardens take off after that point, and they can just move around, just gigantic buildings moving for no reason.
There was a lot of shit that happened that was like really strange. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Sorry?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Let's move over. Charles, have you any games where there was a mystery that you just wanted to solve?
There was the whole Eris doesn't die one. Spoiler alert: Eris dies, and you can't prevent it.
Actually, I think I've heard this one too. Something about being stabbed through the heart or something.
Yeah, she gets stabbed through the heart and horribly murdered. Everyone forgets about the spell Life or Phoenix Downs or any healing magic whatsoever.
Right.
And yeah, they just like dump her in a lake afterwards, and that's that. But when that happens, it's just like, yeah, we're just gonna kill off one of the main characters that you care about, and you never get to see her again. Bye. So a lot of people are like, well, what if there's a way to save her? And the community perpetuated the idea of, well, there is a way. You just have to do X things or whatever. I don't know if there was an actual method or that, but everything that they said was complete and total bullshit. It's a plot point. It has to happen.
There was
I heard though... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Sarah.
I heard though that there was like dialogue built in where people like talk to Eris even after she's supposed to be dead. Maybe that's a further part of the rumor.
Maybe they programmed it in because they thought that they were going to have a scenario where she didn't die, and then just didn't remove it because programmers are lazy.
Yeah,
it's true, and I feel like that's actually how a lot of these rumors happen. Is even if people look at source code, they'll see, you know, these pieces that shouldn't be there, and like, oh, why is that there? There's a mystery. There's got a way to unlock it, and then it's just actually programmers being super lazy.
It's programmers being lazy, and a bunch of writers working on the story at once. Where some of the writers will just give the pieces straight to the programmers, and later on they decide, yeah, this dialogue's never actually needed. Okay, I'm not taking it out of the code. It'll never be triggered. I'm not finding that 15 lines of code to remove it. That's a waste of my time. And that's why Final Fantasy VII is on 3 discs.
Fair enough. Yeah, it seems like Final Fantasy has a lot of those rumors. I'm assuming it's because a lot of the craziness that happens. You know, it's a lot of it seems to be
people are mental.
Fanatical.
People are mental.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a breakdown that someone had did online of like they actually took the model of Eris's body and broke down where her vital organs were and where the actual stab wounds,
I saw that actually.
And they were like, yeah, there was no like. They were trying to like disprove that the sword actually hit any of her vital organs and that she would have died that quickly.
Well, even if she would have died that quickly, Phoenix Down restores you to 10% of your health, or Life restores you to 10% of your health, or Life 2, which you probably haven't ground that far, restores you to full health.
Yep.
So that's magic that exists in that community, and yeah, they just didn't even bother, just dumped her in a lake.
Well, because they hated her. She was a bitch anyway, so.
That's awesome. All right, before we move on to my buddies here, Manny, is there any that you had as a kid? You said you were going to go through your magazines there and see if any popped up.
Oh, I was joking, dude. I don't got no EGMs.
Oh, you. I don't know. Maybe you did have just a big stack in the back. Just
no, I got nothing.
One day this will be worth something.
The only thing I can think of is San Andreas, when everyone was talking about trying to see the Yeti in the woods.
Yeti in the woods, yeah.
No, the Yeti, the Sasquatch, the big.
That was in Red Dead Redemption too. A Sasquatch in the woods.
They were playing with that though, because remember in San Andreas, people was like, "I swear, dude, there was a Sasquatch, there was a Bigfoot in the woods."
And then people will spend hours and hours and hours searching for it.
It's kind of like in the new GTA, they had the alien, the UFO, except that one turned out to be actually true. You had to do certain things to trigger, and I wonder if that was kind of a throwback to that then.
Not really certain things. You had to collect like 50 different pieces. It was pretty obvious once you met the guys, like, oh, there's a spaceship, I have to collect.
No, but there's also something what you can do is you can if as long as you're above the mountain at the map height level, like the max map height level, above a certain spot in the map, you could actually see the UFO appear and hover over top of the military base. Or sorry, it would hover over top of Mount Chiliad. But you had to be in a certain spot at a certain time. I think it was like 12 p or a.m. or something. I forget what time in the game it was, but you had to be at that certain spot and it would actually appear. So I'd go onto online maps and there'd be people hovering over that spot all the time, just trying to get it to work. But it was cool to see that. I feel like that's kind of a throwback to that one then.
There's a lot of
then,
weird
yeah, well, that game just has a lot of weird stuff. But it makes me kind of wonder how many games out there actually had some of these super hidden, mysterious things, even down to Easter eggs that no one ever discovered. Because I actually remember an Easter egg recently. I forget what game. I'll have to find it for you guys. But there was a game that had been for like 10, 15 years, and the developer finally came out and said, "Hey, there's this Easter egg in here that nobody ever found." And it finally came out, and they had to say it themselves because nobody ever found it. So it's kind of sorry.
That's crazy. 15 years later.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird to think like how I wonder how many of these games had something like that where it just never got found, but then the developers just never bothered to say anything.
I just think it's so cool. Like, I love the Easter egg cheat aspect of video games and how it's been going on for back since the NES days, you know?
Yeah, and it was actually back hunting around in I remember hunting around in like high school, talking about like even like I think Excel had Easter eggs. There was actually a site I went on to that had a list of Easter eggs. I would just click the random ones and then go try them. But yeah, it was Excel had an Easter egg, and I forget what it did, but you could like unlock like a little game or something that was built into it. Microsoft Excel. So it was cool that like even these other things had Easter eggs, not even just games.
Yeah.
And those were fun. We should do that sometime. Just have our favorite Easter eggs, and that way we can have everybody go and try to unlock them. Even in not even pertaining specifically to games, but like Easter eggs in general.
You mean a separate topic? It seems like now is the perfect time to talk about it.
I haven't done research though, and so that's the issue. Unless everybody has something off the top of their head.
Well, game is drawn with that is Rage. Game has more Easter eggs than actual story.
I wonder if at that point you can call them Easter eggs if you can just call them that's the game.
Also, too, some of that magic is gone though because like you said, because it's what kids do. It's what kids. But also like the internet wasn't as ubiquitous. You didn't have game facts. You couldn't just Google something on Google something or you just see on Twitter. It's just true. Like now, like even something like Fez, you have to get on the ground floor quickly. You gotta get in there with the community the first 2 weeks. Otherwise, it's just all out there. Okay, we figured this game out. If you want to find out, read this FAQ or this one or this one or this one. Done.
Yeah.
We've dumped the ROM. We've dumped the game, and we looked in the code. We revealed all the artwork that's hidden. Here it is.
Yeah, no, it's true, and you're entirely right that it kind of ruins the magic of how fast, because of how fast information gets spread. Because again, like it's with as soon as someone gets a hold of that source code, it's all there. You know, it's everything's out in the open, and unless programmers start using some sort of cryptic code to the next
at this
level.
point, it seems a little weird though. Like it's where. Like maybe before, some were like practical jokes, like in an issue of EGM that people believed and tried to unlock, or people saw a glitch, and because the company that made it was in Japan and had no idea, this spread like the missing whatever and the peekaboo stuff. But like now, it seems very deliberate. Like we really like all these games, so we're gonna leave clues and everywhere throughout all of Rage. And if you go over here and jump 5 times, you can open a special Doom door or Wolfenstein door.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was going to say, I think that's the difference between like a legend and an Easter egg. Is an Easter egg is something intentional, whereas a legend is something that kind of a community makes up.
That's very rare at this point.
Yeah, because it's again, as soon as something is messed up, it gets patched, right? Like it's not like that glitch or whatever can be sustained in the game and maybe come up somewhere else, someone else can experience it. It's just going to be gone now. And
the Easter eggs too, like you, like you don't even need to go find them yourself anymore. You can just watch a YouTube clip where someone goes finds it for you, and you go like, "Oh, cool! I didn't know that was there."
Mm-hmm. And then you don't even bother trying to do it yourself.
Nope, Katy Perry video next. You know what I mean? Oh, that's awesome! I didn't know you could do that in Vice City. Next video.
Yeah, and that was cool about again. I was saying with Easter eggs before is. Maybe it was just because I was in class and I had nothing better to do, but it was fun finding Easter eggs in like software programs because, because I could go and do it myself and be like, oh yeah, that is real, that's cool. It's not just something someone made up.
There's what's that video game series? Did you know? There's this Did You Know YouTube channel, and if you watch like all their old clips for like Vice City or GTA 3, they'll just go through all of the Easter eggs for you. If you jump to this room, there's an actual Easter egg.
Yeah. And there was like the whole like shooting the moon to make it like get really big.
Yeah.
That was a big one that everybody wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right. It's just the age of Easter eggs is kind of,
I think maybe the fun is being the one who found it first, and then you'd be the first one to put it on the FAQ.
Yeah, it's true. You get to be the one. So I guess that's the fun. I guess that you can still find is that any game you get, you can use that as the motivation to get in there and find something that no one else has found.
Remember, like that magic of like everyone discovering that Fez wasn't just some indie puzzle platformer. That there was something much more going on, and there was like a secret language and this and that, and secret meanings. Like. We all know that now through osmosis, but at the time, people, for those first 2 weeks, people were discovering this and they were going in forums and figuring this stuff out together. And like at this point, that conversation's dead. You gotta, like, unless we do a game club and we completely close ourselves off, we're not gonna discover that stuff on our own.
Yeah,
that's true. I would say we could. I've never played Fez, so I had no idea.
I spoiled it for you. There's more to that game than the magic is ruined.
But no, it's true. It's there's something else that actually just came to my mind. I completely blanked on what it was. But there's another game that was like that where it was just there was more to it. I can't remember.
I remember EGM made a free. Like I think the developer had a few rumors where the developers actually had to come out and say no, this is not true. That was an April Fool's joke. Like there was something like unlocking Akuma in Resident Evil 2.
Mm-hmm.
There was that Shenlong character. That was like a fake Street Fighter character that eventually became a real Street Fighter character.
Yeah, and that's that kind of stuff. That's the opposite. That's the flip side. Is that with Legends is people could make things up that you're like, no, no, no.
There was always, come on. There was always one kid on the playground who would make something up, and you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go home and try that.
Yeah,
I remember playing
No
Mortal
one's
Kombat.
creative anymore.
Yeah,
Wait, Eric, Mortal Kombat. What about it?
yeah. I remember playing Mortal Kombat for like hours because there was one that was like if you won, I think it was 200 matches in a row, that you would unlock. I don't even remember who it was, like a Mintaro type person or something like that in Mortal Kombat 2. You just had to win 200 matches in a row, and I remember staying up. My friends had a sleepover, and stayed up all fucking night and did it, and didn't get jack shit. And that was like at the point where we were like, "Fuck this."
I wonder if maybe some of these rumors are perpetuated by the developers themselves to get you playing their game more.
Probably.
But kind of speaking of that, those like, those schoolyard rumors where someone will make something up and you go and try it. I remember Brandon here. The one that I was going to bring up, and the reason I have him on is because he was the one that was doing this. But in Super Mario 64 DS version, there was eventually someone had a rumor that you could get Waluigi in the game, and being this guy's favorite character, he wanted to get Waluigi. So he went through some crazy stuff. Like I remember there's like a community and forum behind it too.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're just online. Every time I go to his house, he's there trying a new thing. Like there's a couple like I don't know. There's something with like mirrors or something.
Yeah.
Like
if you go online, you can find like at least 10 ways to get them, and I tried them all, and they're all bullshit.
like honestly, it had been like, it was like at least 3 months that you had been trying different things.
One was you have to fight the King Boo with Luigi, and if you kill him a certain way, you'll get the Vanish Cap, and you can go in the mirror and get a Waluigi key. It's not there.
It's not there. You hear the disappointment in his voice there. It's not there.
It's not there.
Yeah, I remember trying so many different things with that game. That game had a lot of cool, actually, other hidden things. So you get on the roof and stuff. And
Mario 64 had one as well, trying to get Luigi.
Okay,
and it's
so
not there.
And it's not there. So
Yeah.
you guys think you would have learned from the first one? It wasn't there the first time. But yeah, it's insane how much of time it can draw from you from trying to get these things. And it's kind of cool because you get more appreciation for the game because you end up playing it more and you can see more about the game. It's cool being a part of a community.
You say that, Brody, but you're a serial gamer. You don't spend enough time with the game to do that anymore.
The only time, the biggest time I did something like that wasn't for rumors. It was more for glitches. Resistance 1: Fall of Man. Me and my brother started to do our own speed runs before we knew speed runs were a thing. We didn't really have good internet where we were living, and so we spent a lot of time just playing this game, trying to find new glitches and trying to find ways to beat levels fast. But man, the time we spent on that was at least 6 hours a day for 6 months. Like I'm not even kidding you. It was ridiculous.
What game is this?
Resistance: Fall of Man. It was, I think, probably the best Resistance game. And then they kind of went down from there. I guess 3 was alright.
No.
3 was
good.
3 was good. But 2 was yeah.
I thought you liked 2.
Well, it was good. I liked it. But it was like in the series, it was like 1 was here, 2 was here, and then 3 was up here, right? Like but I still liked it, and I think a lot of it actually came from nostalgia of playing 1 so much, and having all these Easter eggs. I remember there's one level. Actually, you could actually get out of the level and find a teddy bear sitting next to a rainbow tree. Out of the level, you literally had to glitch out of the level to get to it, like through walls and everything. And you had to walk through. There's certain paths you could take, otherwise you would fall through the map. You had to walk in certain parts of the grass that weren't marked. You just had to find your way, and to get over to this teddy bear in this tree. So that was fun. That was magical. And there's also this garden gnome that was in every level that you could find. Yeah, it was everywhere.
Garden gnome.
Yeah, but it was fun. I guess those glitches turned into Easter eggs at the end. But yeah, there's a couple other ones here. Back to Pokemon, I want to mention this too. I guess in the original Japanese version of Pokemon, when you're in Lavender Town, there was the song that played is different than the version that we got over here in North America. And I guess apparently when the game first released in Japan, apparently it correlated with a huge spike in suicides and illnesses in children, ranging from 7 to 12.
What?
Yeah, and it says the children did not fall ill or commit suicide until reaching Lavender Town in the popular game. So a lot of people were blaming the game's score for the sinister elements and the children. The piercing tones in the music caused headaches, nausea, and eventually suicide tendencies in young children. And then the music in the level was changed before the game was shipped over here. There's actually you can actually find it online if you want to go listen to it. But it is a lot different. It is very sinister. I even playing Lavender Town in this version, the North American version, was still kind of a depressing, level. Like going through this mansion with all these deceased Pokemon, and it was a depressing situation to be in. But apparently the music was correlated with a lot of these illnesses in children in Japan once it came out. So it was. I'll link it to you guys if you guys want to hear it here. But it that was one of the other crazy things from Pokemon that I've seen. Here's the link for you guys to listen. The one that I've seen. Sorry, where was it? Or some of the other top ones. But apparently, I've never played Earthbound, but apparently in Earthbound, there was a rumor that the final boss, was an abortion or something.
It was a fetus.
Yeah, and so I've never played it, but I found that one to be kind of weird. So I guess it was in the game, the cute characters essentially perform an abortion in order to kill the final boss, which is an alien that wants to destroy the world. Yeah. And for a game that looks so cute, and again I've never played it, I just wouldn't have expected something like that from that.
There's people that swear by that game, and I have a friend, my old bass player actually, who thinks Earthbound is the best RPG ever made to this day, still. And there's a lot of people that feel that.
I might have to play it then, because I never actually have, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. And I didn't realize, whenever I heard Earthbound, I always thought it was something more JRPG-like, but then I actually saw it, and it looked more cartoony than anything.
Yeah.
And this was sorry?
No, I don't understand. I mean, a lot of JRPGs are cartoons, though. They have the anime.
No, sorry, I meant this one. It doesn't quite look like what I would expect from a JRPG. Again, I don't play too many, but it doesn't look like what I would expect. It looks almost like an 8-bit Sunday or Saturday morning cartoon that you'd see on North American television. Just from first looks. Again, maybe it's completely something different. But I have two more crazy ones. One that I saw, I saw it, I think I first heard wind of it about a year ago. But I think it originated on 4chan. But it has to do with Majora's Mask. A user posted a story about how he obtained a blank 64 cartridge that had Majora's Mask written on it in just black marker. And he posted photos and videos and stuff along with it that showed how weird it was. And upon starting the game, the user noticed that there was already a game saved on the cartridge that was titled Ben. He ignored the save file and started a new one, and noticed that all the NPCs in the game would refer to him as Ben. So that's kind of creepy. So he deleted the Ben file, thinking that was just, it was like a glitch carrying over, and tried to start a new game, and then the game became more erratic. The music would start to play backwards. His character began to be followed around by a statue of the main character with a weird smile on its face. And eventually, the Ben file came back onto the save file select screen, and along with it was another new file simply titled Drowned. And every time he played after the two files appeared, his character would simply just die, and weird messages would come up on the screen. And one would be, "You've met a terrible fate, haven't you?" Okay, I can't imagine getting that at like a garage sale or something and playing this, and how freaky as crap that would be to have this thing, this bend thing, and then just all this weird stuff happen in the game. Like, I honestly would probably crap my pants if that happened to me and think that someone was about to kill me. But that was one of the weird. There's actually gameplay. You can actually watch it. Guy uploaded a bunch of videos, so you can actually see what happened. Charles, I figure you might be interested in this one. So I've just posted it to our chat there, and I'll try to post it to the description of the YouTube channel as well. But watch that; it's really freaky stuff. And the last one I had, it was this thing called Polybius. I don't know if you guys heard of it, but it was it was in The Simpsons once. But Polybius was an arcade game that just mysteriously appeared in an arcade unit in Oregon, Portland, in the early 80s. The cabinet was completely black except for the joysticks, the green ones, and the logo at the top of the machine that said Polybius. The game combined elements of classic shooters like Tempest, mazes like in Pac-Man, and spatial puzzles. And when played, it supposedly caused all sorts of health problems, including amnesia, blackouts, nausea, seizures, headaches, night terrors, and in some cases, players were reported to commit suicide not longer after playing it.
So it was an Oculus Rift. Retro version of the Oculus Rift.
Fair enough. And then this could just be more rumors on top, but it is said that men dressed in all black would often be seen messing with the game, leading some to speculate that the device was not a video game, but instead was a government experiment. But yeah, it's just that one got so famous that kind of rumor it was actually I don't know which episode, but it was actually in The Simpsons at one point. They picked it up and put it in their show. But that'd be unreal to kind of be around and to hear. I want to kind of do more research on that one too, because that'd be for some freaky stuff.
Yeah.
If that was true. But yeah, I think the two most crazy ones that I ever heard was that one and the Lavender Town one, just because of how saddening it is and how it can actually physically cause issues with people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those were some of the best. I don't know if you guys had any other ones that you can think of, but those were some of the top ones I knew of.
I have another kind of creepy one.
Okay.
So there's this rumor of Pokemon Black, and that's before they actually came out with a game called Pokemon Black. Mm-hmm. And I think you can find them on eBay, and they're fake. Don't buy them. But the premise was essentially that you get a character called Ghost, and he would look like the ghosts in Lavender Town before you had your Self Scope. And then what would happen is you'd use Curse, and it would actually kill the Pokemon, and you could kill the trainer. And when you'd get out of the battle, the trainer would be gone. And the story goes that eventually you get to this place where nobody is left in the entire world, and you're just walking around the only person left with your ghost. It's pretty creepy.
So was this an actual cartridge that came out, or?
I think it's just a rumor, and people, are playing off of it, and if you eBay search it, you might be able to find one, but it's probably just like a hack. But the idea was at the time, it was kind of like the Majora's Mask creepypasta kind of idea.
Yeah, that's true. It seems Pokemon has a lot. I don't know. Pokemon has a lot. You think even just down to the rumors like Cubone is just a Kangaskhan wearing its mother's skull on its head. and that's all it is. Like it's down to those crazy little rumors. But yeah, Pokemon has so many of them just because the lore is actually. That's why I've always said, Pokemon's got a lot more to it than just being a little kid show or game. There's a lot of story and background to it. That's pretty interesting. And there's even that whole rumor that Ash is in a coma during the show. After he crashes his bike, and I think like the second or third episode or something like that, he actually doesn't wake up, and Brock appears after that in the next episode, and that's apparently Ash's virtualized sexualization, and that's why he's always after all the nurses and the cops, because he was never able to live that out, and he was in love with Misty, and that's why Misty's always there, but he never does anything about it. And there was a lot to it. I think there's also mention of the Great War, and Ash's father apparently was a part of it, and they think that it was a great Pokemon war, a battle with the Pokemon or something, and then they've enslaved the Pokemon after that because the humans won in the war, which I don't know how. I feel like Pokemon would definitely win that battle. But yeah, there are a lot of urban legends when it comes to Pokemon. I feel like that is just the culmination of urban legends is Pokemon. It's unreal how many urban legends there is. Okay, Manny just sent me a thing where Ash and Missy apparently kissed. I don't know if that was actually true. I don't think that actually happened in the thing. So I'm still going with the coma legend.
That would explain why he doesn't age at all.
Well, exactly. It's been, what, 10 years now? More than that? 10. And he's still 10.
Yeah.
And it's not, nothing. So I'll link it to you. Actually, I think I have it bookmarked.
Wait, does that explain everything? Some Japanese man made all this up in his brain, and that's why Mario hasn't aged in 20 years? And you're saying this is all just in some guy's imagination?
Yeah, man. Here, I just pasted it to you guys. I think it's still fun to read. It's good. Even obviously it's just made by fans and that, and it's still fun to give a read and see through, because a lot of it does make sense. And it's more just kind of people filling in the blanks.
So what was Misty? Just like his sexual fantasy then, pretty much?
It was the girl that he loved, but he never got to pursue, and that's why in the show he never kind of realizes it. But there's always that tension there.
Right.
Right. There's something there, but he never can go further because in real life he never was able to act upon it, and so that's why Brock was created, was because he needed an outlet for it. So his brain created Brock to make those fantasies a truth.
I don't know, man. Sometimes a show like Yo Gabba Gabba is just about monsters dancing and telling you to brush your teeth. It doesn't have to be more than that. It can just be about monsters telling you that, there's a party in your tummy, yummy, yummy, eat your carrots.
Yeah, fair enough. Again, it's can be, and most likely is a bunch of just bull, but it's got some merit to it. Like there is a.
It has. Sure.
It's like a conspiracy theory for Pokemon, Take what you want.
Yeah, it's just to that extent. It's a
so you're a Pokemon truther? Now I know more about you.
I need to reveal the truth. But yeah, I read through that even. It's a good, like, I'd say it's good about 5 minute read, to get through that and read it. But it's got some interesting points to it. I'll post that for everyone. I'm going to do that immediately to the after thing. But those are the top for me. And again, I think Pokemon's got a lot of them, most of those urban legends.
I know an urban legend.
Do you have another urban legend?
Yeah. In Smash Bros. 64, there was a legend where if you beat very hard mode with one life with Mario, you could unlock Metal Mario. And it's not true.
I like how all of your sources, and it wasn't true.
I tried for years to beat it, and I finally beat it like 2 years ago, and I was so sad.
You didn't think to look online?
No.
No.
Oh,
I wanted it to be true. I wanted it to be true.
There's a really good one from Melee as well. There was a rumor in Melee that you could get Sonic and Tails from beating something like 25 person special mode. What was it called? Cruel Melee, I think.
Yeah, I did hear that one.
And what's really neat about that is that, of course, Sonic came in Brawl. So, that was kind of like rumor makes reality, which I like.
Okay, so let's just make up a bunch of stuff we want to see in a game, and then maybe in the next iteration it'll happen.
Well, they did have Metal Cap as an item in Melee.
Metal Cap, yeah, and Metal Mario is actually playable, I think, in the new Smash Bros. Coming out.
Yeah, he's probably just the color of Mario.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, I guess Sarah's got a good point. Is that we'll just make things up and they become reality.
Start all the rumors.
All right, I'm
That's
gonna.
me upset though. You guys are talking about video game rumors, and you guys aren't talking about the best video game about video game rumors ever.
What is that?
What?
You don't remember
Say that
Persona? Persona 2 Eternal Sin? Where there's actually a rumor mechanic where you would start a rumor like this medallion will keep me safe at night from these monsters, and then as the rumor gets spread, it actually becomes true in the game.
That's actually kind of cool. I didn't know that. Again, I've never played Persona, so that's why I didn't know about that one. That's actually built right into the game.
Yeah, there's a whole rumor system.
That's
Yeah,
kind
I'm
of
pretty
cool.
sure it's the one that Eternal Sin's the one that came out in the U.S., right? And then one of the more yeah, I'm pretty sure.
That's really meta. That's kind of cool how they did that. 'Cause they're playing
Eternal
on.
Punishment. I get all my Persona 2s mixed up because it had such a messed up release in the U.S.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool because as we were saying, it's the rumor becomes reality, and then in that game it actually did. So they were kind of that's cool. That was very socially aware of them. Yeah, for urban legends, that's all I had and I could think of. I don't know if any of you guys have any other ones that you wanted to bring up before we signed off there. Brandon, anything else you had?
About urban legend stuff?
Yeah, any other ones?
No.
No. Charles, did you have any for us?
Not really.
No.
I never really
No.
followed any of the gaming magazines or gaming communities when I was a kid.
True, fair enough. Manny, Eric, or Sarah?
I had a small one that I actually wanted to ask you guys about. There's a bunch of stuff. Okay, there was a story that had been released maybe a month ago about these two girls that had actually stabbed their 9-year-old friend. And when they were asked by police why they did it, they said that they were told to do it by I forget what the actual name is.
It's Slender Man.
Yeah, Slender Man. Now, I had never heard of the Slender Man before.
I've played Slender Man.
I'm too afraid to play it.
What exactly is it, and why is it so?
Slender Man, it's just a modern day urban legend that was born on 4chan and Reddit, and propagated like that.
But
yeah, so, because the game, so I'm forgetting. The game was called Slender, right?
No, but forget the game though. The Slender Man thing was actually this sort of underground pop phenomenon where someone made a photo, or some photo looked like there was some slender guy in the background, and then they started photoshopping into other things, and they built this whole mythology around this guy who appears in photos. And then of course that caught on, and someone made a game about it, and.
But what
it's kind of like the G-Man from Half-Life.
Is it like the Mothman prophecies or something
Something like that, but it had maybe more, just sort of how something on the internet gets one of those organic followings where one guy. It's a meme. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a Know Your Meme video about it. If you know that website that explains memes for grandmas.
Right.
There's an episode on Slender Man.
I'll have to check it out.
Slender Man.
Slender Man, yeah, it was from the game Slender, And
Well,
I didn't
before
know.
that, like I said, I think, Charles, am I wrong that it was a thing before it became a game, long before, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think long before it became a game. 100% born on 4chan. Definitely used to scare new people.
Scare them.
Popular on the X board, I assume, like the paranormal one.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's just the paranormal type people trying to be like, oh, look at this scary picture of this guy with long
Yeah.
legs.
Yeah, and
That's-
some
We're
internet
creepypasta
mythology
board.
sprung up around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a well-known meme. It's just a spooky meme.
And then they turned it into an urban legend, and then they turned it into a game.
And not only that though, but Slenderman's in a lot of other stuff. Like, do you know the Minecraft Endermen?
Yep, the Endermen are based on Slenderman,
In Doctor Who, the Silence are Slendermen.
basically.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. I don't think they have the ability to teleport, but they have the ability to make you forget about their existence. So.
But they,
There's that.
they're white and pale, and they have long hands, and they wear suits, and they're always in your peripheral vision.
But you never quite see them.
I didn't know that was a legend before that game.
No, I wouldn't call it a legend. Maybe in 100 years, when people forget the 4chan origins and forget about the Know Your Meme article, it's a pop culture urban legend. I think most of the people who propagated it never really believed in it.
It was just kind of to make things up. Yeah, I guess that's what 4chan does.
What?
I said
That's
4chan
4chan
likes to make things up.
I don't know. Maybe some new people who don't know any better and like, I get you guys believed it was an urban legend because you guys didn't know the history. So I guess that's what they were hoping for, right?
Yeah,
Like, oh, this
Right.
is legit.
it's cool.
I'm
I guess that's the idea. Start something so discreetly that nobody knows.
Yeah, wait,
All right,
no,
let's do it. We need to start our own rumor at the end of this.
Yeah, but I googled Slenderman, and like the first thing was was the Know Your Meme article about the origins. So
I gotta look in.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that one too. There's a couple here I'm actually interested in. Want to look into again. I'm gonna read over that Pokemon one again too, just because I've forgotten a lot of
but
it
you
now.
can find theories about that kind of stuff on anything, on anything.
No, it's true. A lot of fan fiction and stuff that gets based off it. So.
Mm-hmm.
But urban legends are always fun. It's always good for a nostalgia trip when you just want to go back and remember the good old days. When there was more to games than just.
You must have loved watching Lost when that was on the air, right?
I never actually watched it, and someone told me what happened at the end, so I never actually got into it.
The
That
end
someone
is-
is
the
the worst.
No, the end doesn't mean anything though. I mean, it's about the journey and seeing what. It sounds hokey, but that really was what the game was. That show was never really about the ending. It was about the flashbacks and trying to figure out what's a red herring, what isn't. It's about going on the
Sure.
message boards and talking with people about what did you see? He was reading that newspaper. What do you think it means? And they even released like a fake book. Like there was a book in the show from a fake author, and then they released that book on Amazon or something. You could read that book and try to skim through the book to find hidden meaning.
You know what that kind of reminds me of is Cloverfield. Before that game came out, movie. Me and my friend, for I think it was about at least a year and a half before the movie came out, there was a lot of fake websites and stuff popping up, and it was this huge, I guess it's called an ART or something, ARG, sorry. Action reality game or something.
Alternate reality game.
Alternate, yeah. So, anyways, it was all these pieces that a community would build up together to figure out where this monster came from, what it means, this company JP,
come on,
why they're trying to hide it.
You're missing the obvious one. The one that like made this popular was the I Love Bees. Remember?
Sorry,
I Love Bees.
I'll be
That-
back.
I don't know that one.
The Halo 2 alternate reality game that sort of like made it popular, a lot more popular in the mainstream.
No, I actually don't know that one.
Yeah, read up on the I Love Bees. It's like this big thing where this fake website, and it all led back to Bungie revealing a little bit about Halo 2.
That's cool. See, I actually really like those kind of things. The ARGs, those are fun because it starts. Before the game's even built, you build a community behind something. Now, the only thing with that is you got to make sure you deliver, and it's not disappointing. But I think even if it sometimes when it doesn't pay off, it's still that cool community that's been built behind it. You know, you had this sense of objective with a bunch of people, and you're all fighting to figure out one thing together.
I guess.
And that's why I enjoy it. You know, I enjoyed the movie Cloverfield. I think it was good. It wasn't anything. It's not like, you know, Oscar worthy or like, you know, crazy best movie ever. But it was still a good movie. But it was. I think the reason it was better is because I had that community sense behind it. Right?
I guess so, because maybe that was your first and only experience with it. But I was well aware of all the gaming sites that were trying to latch on to the I Love Bees craze, and I just feel most of the time it feels like such a cynical marketing ploy. Like,
yeah, fair enough.
Halo 3 tried it again with another one called ISIS or something, and then other people try it too. And like I'm sure there's an archive of all the failed marketing attempts at ARGs, like hit it, and then no one actually cared because their game was important enough.
Yeah, actually, there was a cool one that happened. You guys probably won't know because it was in PlayStation Home.
I remember this one. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a huge ARG that went on for weeks, or it was months, I think, and it was fun because it actually bled over into a lot of it started in the game, I guess, the little world. You would have to go and do certain things to unlock other things, puzzles. You'd actually have to play like word-based RPGs to find an answer to something like in the game. You'd be playing a game, and there was at points where it bled into the real world. You'd in some places, I think it was in the UK, there was actually billboards put up, and a couple of them had numbers on them, and people actually took these numbers, put them into something in the game or something, and there was a spot they could enter them, and it translated out a code for them that they could put somewhere else, and it got really intense.
Well, what's the ultimate one of this was like the Majestic. What was it called? The game, the Majestic, that would actually call you and leave voicemails on your phone. They would call you and be like, I don't remember what the name of the game was. It was something like that, but it would actually call you up and be like, they found me. You have to find me quick. Use the code. Call blah 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 this number.
That's really creepy and intense. Sarah's just like, nope. She's noping right out of this one.
No, it's just called Majestic. Yeah, Majestic. It was this whole thing where it came out in 01 on Windows. Yeah, they would actually they would call you, send you emails. There's some of those that still kind of do that kind of stuff.
To be honest, though, that almost sounds like most games nowadays. You know, you play a game, you get a notification on your phone about what's happening. Like, your town just got overrun. I mean, to a degree, it's kind of the same thing, you know.
Well, it's very different when the marketing team is calling you on your on your landline.
Oh,
Except
I
it's
see.
funny, though.
Yeah. So it was everyone got the same message at the same time.
No. I mean, you play the game, you get called.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, so it's but yeah, it's that is kind of, especially being kind of one of the first to do that too. Like you never see the games breaching the fourth wall, right? But it's
except for the problem that they would start the call with, "This is a phone call from the video game Majestic," and then it would play the recorded message. I guess they didn't want to get sued.
I guess you kind of got to. Can you imagine just getting a message? They're about to get me, please. That I guess, yeah, they need a little bit.
Okay, here we go. Okay, as an ARG, the game was played by phone, email, AOL Instant Messenger, BlackBerry messages, fax, and visiting special websites. Gameplay frequently involved the player receiving clues that they would use to solve puzzles and unravel the story. All the messages were automated with limited dialogue options, but AIM provided some interactive conversations. As an option to warn unsuspecting members in the same house, you could enable a warning at the beginning of each phone call. Okay, you can enable and a small message at the top of faxes. Cool. So you could turn that off and really freak out your family if you wanted to.
To be fair, though, that's not marketing. Like.
No. This one is very specific built into the game. Yeah. I was talking about I Love Bees and all those other things are completely different from what Majestic was doing. I wouldn't lump those two together.
Yeah, no. The one was a game mechanic, and the other
was please pay attention to our game. Hopefully, it'll go viral.
Yeah.
I mean, some were more successful than others. I mean, the ones, like you said, you still remember the Cloverfield one, so that one had to be a lot more successful than the ones we can't even remember. I think Deus Ex had one. I think other people had one. nobody remembers, right?
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, I guess that Cloverfield one was good. Just again, it was a year and a half we were working on that, and even afterwards, what was great about that is even afterwards, the community still survived because there was things in the movie that were referenced back to what had happened. That the community, it was referenced to real events that the community had discovered. So it was things that we had made that the movie referenced back to, and then we could actually go further off that to try to figure more out about the movie and the history behind it.
Yeah, I think Blair Witch also had one. The movie AI had one.
Mm-hmm.
It was really popular for a while.
Yeah, but those things I actually find fun just because of the community that builds behind it. But even with any of these gaming legends too, it's you get as Brandon was saying that he for 2 years he's trying it and just trying to figure out things that communities had said, hey, this will work, let's try this, and people would try a thing, get a certain distance, share it with people, and someone else would build off that and get further, and you kind of made internet friends with people just to for trying to figure out this crazy.
Your bulletin board friends.
Exactly, it was your forum friends. It was fun though to be able to be a part of something with people and trying to figure out something even if it never got anywhere. It gave people a sense of a purpose, I guess, an objective to try to figure something out. But yeah, I've always enjoyed urban legends in gaming just because they're fun. But I hope there's more. Again, as we saw that as you said, as we got Minecraft that had one recently too. I hope that it's never going to completely die out, but these urban legends can still continue to be made. As Charles said, that even as long as the developers kind of help push that idea that there's something there, can help. With Notch saying, "Oh, we removed it this time for sure," and then it comes back. Yeah. But yeah,
a lot of that stuff is built into stuff like into the very design of something like Demon Souls or Dark Souls, where you straight up don't know what this amulet does, and the developers won't tell you, so you guys have to figure it out.
Yeah, that's true. That's almost that's like a feature of the game is the urban legend. Urban legends are a feature of this game.
Yeah, the Dark Soul legends. I'm pretty sure if you Google, "Is this true, Dark Souls?" you can find the autocomplete will be like a mile long.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's taking it to the next level, actually, for urban legends. But it's fun, and I hope urban legends never kind of leave gaming or anything else to that. But it's always fun to have communities and stories too, just the memories, the nostalgia, just to think back and like, oh, you remember when we tried to do that? It's funny though, because in the end, we all know it's always going to be what Brandon said. It wasn't there.
You remember Naked Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
Which wasn't true until it was.
Mods make all of these true. That's the other downfall is mods can make all of these things true.
And they often do, right? Right away.
Yep.
You want Naked Tomb Raider? You can have Naked Tomb Raider. You want Naked Alex from Half-Life? You can have Naked Alex from Half-Life.
See,
it's very easy if all you want is naked.
That's true, but it's even with like the Herobrine, people have added it into in mods and stuff. So it's a curse and a blessing at the same time. It's cool that we can get whatever we want whenever we need it, but it's also kind of sucks. It's like it's not, the magic's ruined, right? But yeah, urban legends. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have any other ones to do before we'll sign off here, and then if you guys want, we can do a post show and talk about random stuff.
I do want to let everyone know that we did pick our next Game Club game, so if you do want to join us,
yes,
it is Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon.
Blood Dragon.
That's available on Xbox 360, PSN, and PC. It is. There was recently a Steam sale, so if you're lucky, you could have picked it up for $6 or less. Otherwise, I think it's $15 across all platforms.
Which is still that's kind of change. Well, maybe in middle class society.
I think this one's going to be a shorter one because 2 long weeks is more than enough to finish that game. So like So I think for episode 1, which will air next Wednesday, am I right?
Yes, next
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Okay, so I think we're gonna ease into this a little bit since everyone get to catch their legs up. We're gonna do the first 3 missions, and then because a lot of this game is open world fun, we're also gonna say complete 3 minimum. At the minimum, complete 3 bases. You know, the bases, clear the territory, clear it out, and do 3 little side quests, including like hunting or go free some nerds, whatever. Just
Mhm.
I'm not here to tell you what to do in your open world game.
Yeah. We
I
still
just
want to
want
get
people to
that
mainline
sense
it
of the game.
because a lot of the fun from this game comes from doing the stuff on the peripheries.
Beautiful. So we'll have our first section of that completed for next week for anybody that wants to follow along. So we're going to tweet that out and make sure everybody knows that we're starting that up. So finish your stuff for next week and follow along with us in the Q&A at the side there, so you can talk with us and tell us how you did things differently than us and why we should have done stuff differently. And join along and play with us. And if you can't play it right away, it's going to be on YouTube, so you're not going to miss anything. Obviously, spoiler alerts if you guys are checking on that. But yeah, the Gamers Roundtable itself will be back next week at 7 p.m. EDT. We'll talk about video games and news and stuff. Hopefully, there'll be a lot more in the news next week. We'll see, again, with FIFA and all that stuff going on. I think, Manny, you were right. People are holding off until that ends to get all their video game details out there. But, yeah, make sure join us, again, every week, 7 p.m. EDT, Gamers Roundtable show on YouTube. That's where the live stream is, and +1 us on and circle us on Google Plus, and that way you get the direct feed to the Q&A. But I guess with that, we'll go down the line here and say goodbye to everybody. Down at the other end, we got Charles. Thanks for coming out, Charles. Charles.
Brody.
Charles.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. You can follow Charles at cstovetop on Twitter, or go to twitch.tv/cstove. And next, we got Manny. You can follow Manny at MarinoEM on Twitter. It looks like Manny's got like a blurred out grilled cheese over your camera right now.
It's a face.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was a face or a grilled cheese. Oh, there's the real face. There's Manny. Hello.
Grilled cheese. I don't even know what that means.
There's a grilled cheese.
Do you not have grilled cheese in the States?
No, I mean, like, you mean a literal grilled cheese sandwich over the...
I don't know.
I don't know,
if
some weird Canadian slang. Get that grilled cheese off my camera.
The cultural barriers. Yeah, Manny's also a columnist at RP Game there, so make sure you go check out his stuff.
Do you guys want to learn more about the Witcher adventure game, the board game that's coming both to GOG Galaxy, iOS, and Android, and to tabletop games from Fantasy Flight Games? I wrote about it. Go check it out.
Beautiful.
RPG Elements column, rpgamer.com.
Bam. And next to him, we've got Eric Miller, who actually has his lower third up this time, but he didn't put his Twitter handle in. If you guys want to know, it's we're making progress.
You effing up, son. You effing up.
Making progress.
There.
It's at Eric Miller 3. If you wanna follow him, spell it as he spelt his name there. So we got to start. But yeah, you can follow him on there, and he'll tweet about stuff. And next to him, we have Sarah, and on everything, we've got Yosarar. I finally got that name down pat. I could never say it before.
It's just Yo and Sarah, like rar, Sarah.
Your name's too long, man. When we reply to you, it takes precious name characters away.
Doesn't it just take an arbitrary amount of characters? Not based on the length?
It does.
Oh,
it does. It's only links that doesn't.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes. Anyways, you can follow Sarah at Yosarar on Twitter there, and I guess everything. So make sure he's there. So thanks for coming out, Sarah.
Thanks for having me, buddy.
And then myself, LeafX. You can write down there. I'm also on everything as LeafX, except for Steam. For some reason, they wouldn't let me have LeafX, so I had to put LeafXX. I almost made it to an adult film, but LeafX, you can close. You can find me on.
I'm on Steam right now.
Do it on the interwebs. My YouTube's actually down there by mistake. I forgot to put the Gamers Roundtable. So if you want to follow me on YouTube, I haven't done anything in a while, but youtube.com/tayleaf. make sure you go to Gamers Roundtable Show on YouTube to subscribe to that so you don't miss anything else. And yeah, we're the Gamers Roundtable. We talk about video games. We like to talk to you guys about video games too. And we'll do that
next week will be better, higher energy, right?
Yeah, it's just too hot out. It's too hot.
Dude, it's like 110 degrees here today.
Like Celsius. Like that's Celsius.
Yeah, the water is boiling outside of his house.
It's the humidity by me that is like brutal.
Yeah, that's what these giant lakes do to you. But until next week when we'll have that energy, have fun and keep gaming hard.
Cool.
Winners don't use drugs.